So, there's an article out of Salon, of all places, by Amanda Marcotte. She basically, I don't know whether to laugh or cry or be frustrated or maybe just try to understand the psychology. I know this is supposed to be a spicy hot take and supposed to kind of like rile people up, a little bit, and then give high fives to her base of whoever, like the white liberal feminist that she's talking to. But trying to understand her psychology. Basically, she says the gist of this article is that vaccine refusal, tech bro, libertarianism, and Trump, it's all the same white guy refusal to play nice with others. And it's like a weird like sexual tension in a way, like she's like slamming white guys, but then like she probably dates a white guy. I'm like 99% sure. It's like, but you just like you just want to. She's like this liberal lady that just wants to like just rip apart this jock because he's just like so he's so masculine or he's so confident or whatever. We gotta tear this out. We gotta put him down a peg or notch or rip him apart. Yeah, go queen or whatever. And oh god, just reading it's pretty. The crypto crash isn't just a tulip trading; it's a result of the toxic entitlement that led to Trump. And mind you, it's just men, and particularly white men. So the first part, she goes into outcome that anyone familiar with the terms tulip. Well, I'm sure half of our Salon audience probably wouldn't even know what tulip trading or Beanie Babies, or they probably know the Beanie Babies, but I wouldn't say that they're financially literate or have a lot of understanding of just general history in general. But cryptocurrencies crashing. Prices for cryptocurrencies have cratered since reaching an all-time high in nearly November, wiping out astonishing 1.3 trillion value globally, nearly half of the total market. And this is a tragedy for her. I don't know how it's any of her. I mean, if she's not a crypto investor, how is this any of her business? Well, let's find out. She talks about the Matt Damon commercial on TV, luring people to buy crypto. But the story of cryptocurrencies is more than just a bunch of gullible people losing their shirts, gambling with monopoly money. Cryptocurrency mania is part of the same social forces that created libertarianism, rising fascism, and Donald Trump. But if she had two brain cells to rub together, you would understand that libertarianism and fascism is like totally opposite. I mean, basic definition of libertarianism is individual rights, individual freedoms, and fascism is about screwing the individual, and it's all about the collective. So, I guess you don't have to think too. I mean, I guess the readers of the whatever it's like poetic justice. It feels good, but you don't have to. But it like if you start to think about it, you probably shouldn't. It's all rooted in the overblown sense of entitlement held by a lot of Americans, especially white Americans, especially male. So white male Americans, crazy amount of entitlement. You're greedy SOBs that want to invest in crypto. It leads them to believe that they're above having to live with the same social contract that binds the rest of us. Millions of Americans have decided that they can not only can, but should cheat the system, even to the extent of having separate currency systems. The result is that social structures we all rely are starting to get shaky and in some cases already on the verge of collapse. I mean, this is so stupid on so many levels. I mean, one, all fiat currencies eventually collapse. There's been hundreds, of currencies in this world, and if they weren't backed by gold or something, they eventually did collapse. And it was because of this white male, inflation, hyperinflation in Zimbabwe was because of like white male entitlement. I mean, if she was alive 100 years ago, would she like, these stupid Wright brothers, these bicycle nerds, refusing, trying to build these bicycles that levitate in the air? What's wrong with land? Like everybody else walks on land. Why can't they walk on land too? What's these goddamn airplanes? And if things are on the verge of collapse, is that really the cryptocurrency's fault? Really? Is the market that big? What's the percentage of Americans that actually use cryptocurrency? Not only like put like $1,000 into it, but like use crypto on a day-to-day basis for all their transactions. Everybody living in America is already using the US dollar. So if the system is on the verge of collapsing, it's not like it's crypto's fault. But if people want to speculate and whatever, want to get their own currency off the ground, who is she to? Maybe once the cryptocurrency is more developed, it's going to help people in third world countries that don't have a bank account, or it's going to connect all sorts of people globally, and it's going to develop. It's like somebody like developing the internet or the web browser. Like, you can't possibly understand how many uses you know what I mean, you can have with it. Only time will tell. And ironically, the people that are paying her bills at the Salon to write, oh look, advertisement content. What if crypto could fight climate change? It's a crypto ad. Enturo, invest in the future. The irony is not lost here. Two bizarre but funny stories went viral recent weeks, which illustrate absurd levels of entitlement we're dealing with. Last week, anonymous crypto investor called Space Down. Oh, okay. She goes in about the Dune, somebody spending $3 million on Dune, but not having the rights to make another movie. All right. And that's why somebody making a mistake, that's male privilege. And how many businesses got off the ground? How many people made a lot of money and became really successful? Even went to college and graduated college, achieved any fucking goals in their life, if they had the hubris to pursue their goals, right? But no, that's white male privilege. Like any kind of ambition, any kind of aspiration to do something better, improve the system. This is optional. Last week, Vice also reported that after Tesla head Elon Musk let loose a dumb tweet about population collapse, a obligatory battle of ideas thus commenced. Twitter very rich, influential tech figures speculating about how to generate more of this supposedly scarce resource of human babies. There's approximately 370,000 babies born a day worldwide. So what does that mean? Just because you put out a big number out here that's irrelevant. Soon, multiple tech titans with hundreds of thousands of, sometimes millions of followers started hyping the idea of synthetic wombs as a solution, ignoring the fact that half the human race grows real wombs in their bodies for absolutely free. Yeah, but the more education women have, the less likely they want children. That, not passing value judgment here, but it wouldn't even be like a feminist position to take, that women are not like men because they're burdened with a childbirth, and hey, we can have combined DNA and we can have a synthetic womb, and woman doesn't have to put her body through all the stress. Who knows? It's science fiction for now. These two dumb stories illustrate this. So any would you say the vaccine is developing a vaccine or like a cure to something? That's like wild, like what? Like is that white male privilege? What are you doing? Chemotherapy? What, like you want to live longer than God intended? Fuck off, Whitey. So entitled. These two dumb stories illustrate the same very real problem. A bunch of dudes, some of them who are very rich and powerful, think it's a cheat code to every system. Well, yeah, there probably is. The tech utopian spin. This mentality is about innovation, quote unquote. It stems from a larger rejection of social contract that is reaching at pandemic levels in American society. What social contract? Who signed this contract? Who signed this contract? So if this author was living 100 years ago when America had slavery, it's like, what do you mean you want to be free? You want to escape slavery? We have a social contract. Nobody signed a social contract. It's ever changing. A contract is something both parties agree to voluntarily. Just by the fact that you're on this earth or you're born in a certain country. It's the same argument as like, well, if you don't like it, just get out. Leave. This is quite literally illustrated by the actual COVID-19 pandemic, which has spiraled in recent weeks due to so many obligatory conservatives refusing to get vaccinated. That's not true. This started because GOP leaders, pundits, believed it would weaken Joe Biden's presidency to convince their followers to reject vaccines. That's not true. Aaron Rodgers, Tucker Carlson, vortex of vaccine rejection. Well, whatever, man. The vaccines don't stop you from spreading it anyway, so it's a personal choice. No, moving on. The most destructive result of this entitlement is both the election of Trump and his attempted coup, which continues to have widespread support among the Republican Party. From the very beginning, Trump's appeal to his voters was a promise that he knows how to cheat the system. This was an alluring promise because of his base. Conservative white voters is rapidly shrinking in the size it cannot hang onto power in a multiracial democracy. I got news for you. A lot of your POC and Latinos are switching to the Republican Party. So it doesn't matter if it's a multiracial. The election system we have here is first past the post, meaning whoever has the most votes wins. Therefore, it will always be two parties. It can't be three parties. It can't be one party. No matter how bad the Republicans you think they are, or how bad the Democrats you think they are. The party, the name Republican and Democrat cannot die, but we'll always have two parties. Rather than learn to compromise with others. Yes, to compromise with socialists and feminists. And compromise with others to share power fairly. They instead backed the man who claimed they could rig the system in their favor. Only 21% of Republicans will now admit that Biden won the election. Well, how many Democrats would admit that Trump won the election without Russia's collusion or whatever? I mean, the exact same thing was done by the Democrats while Trump was in office. Actually Biden hobbled himself, his presidency. With Trump, they had to use the intelligence agencies and the full force of the media. Could it be really that so many millions of Americans are that delusional? It's unlikely. Instead, conspiracy theories is instrumental. It creates justification. They intend to rely on for ongoing efforts to steal the next election. Like cryptocurrency or ivermectin, the big lie is viewed as kind of a cheat code way for Republicans to get their way without having to play by the same rules that constrain everybody else. Their insurrection was a violent manifestation of this entire... Oh, God. Criticizing and tweaking systems so they work better for everyone is a good thing. So whatever you're doing is a good thing, but what other people are doing is bad. But that's not what's going on with the modern horrors like cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a modern horror. Vaccine refusal and Trumpism. Well, if the U.S. taxes weren't so high and the Federal Reserve didn't manipulate the currency in such a way that bail out big banks and cause inflation, and if the U.S. dollar was such a great means of exchange, well, why would we need another one? Why would another system be developed? I mean, implicitly, she's implying that, yes, the U.S. dollar is awesome, or if you don't like it, tough shit, pound sand. You have to use the U.S. dollar. It's like this should be like the same person that in like Soviet Russia. If you don't like the gulags, screw you. This is the system we have. Vaccine refusal and Trumpism. None of these are genuine attempts to fix existing systems. Why the fuck not? Why not? Competition improves things. So if there's real competition to the US dollar, maybe they won't debase it so much. It's about alternatives. It's about alternatives for people who think that they're above honoring the basic social... Again, with the social contract shit. The system doesn't work, however, unless everyone plays by the rules. Yep. It's like socialized healthcare. You're dying of cancer? Tough shit. There's millions of people ahead of you in line. Play by the rules. Wait your turn. As in cryptocurrency crash demonstrates, if you inject too many wannabe cheaters into a system, the whole thing will eventually fall apart. Damn you, white male cheaters.